Guys, and welcome back to another video on What If Deku Was OP Part 3. Now, before we jump into this video, I want to state that yes, this is the final part for What If Deku Was OP. I said it was going to be a 3-part series for reaching 300 subs. So, you guys might be wondering, well, Mori Jin just ended, and now OP's ending. What's going to fill those spots? Well, don't worry about that, guys. So for OP ending, it's going to be replaced by Avatar. Avatar is going to fill back in to where OP was at. And for Mori Jin, well, that's a surprise, and you all will see what Mori Jin gets replaced by. Not gonna lie, I kind of like it. I've been scripting out the story, and I had to, rewatch the anime 4 times to memorize down the story beats, and even then I'm not even going to follow the story beats, so I don't know why I rewatched the anime 4 times. Maybe it's because its 3rd season just came out. So if you think about what animes have a 3rd season coming out, then y'all will be ones to guess what the what if is. I give you a hint. Deku's leaving the My Hero verse for this one. He's, I guess you can say, traveling across dimensions and descending into the depths of a dark place. But that's all the hints I'm going to give. And like I said, every time at the start of a video, I'm going to shout out the people who joined my Discord in between videos. So we have 3 people who joined the Discord, and those people are Losers, or no, it's Losers 127, You Mad Bro 2343, and Animal Planes 945. So, thank you all for joining the Discord, and let's jump straight into this what if. Where we last off last time, Deku had just finished talking with Naruto in his room. He had summoned the yellow-haired boy, or more accurately to say, create a copy of the yellow-haired boy, to talk to, mainly because he was feeling down. The days passed by as Deku became training more and more, until one day, All Might came into the room. Deku was living with All Might, so Deku already knew what was going on, but most of the other students were very excited to see their favorite teacher enter the room. All Might explains that they're going to be doing a hero versus villains training. Well, all of them except for Izuku, which kind of made Izuku feel sad, but All Might had already told Izuku prior hand to why he couldn't participate in the training. And the reason why he couldn't participate into the training was because his abilities alone are too dangerous. And if they got out of control, even though, yes, he has really good control over them, that it couldn't be possible. Well, Izuku, knowing this, really didn't put up a fight, but asked if he could do his own personal training. All Might was kind of confused by this, and he said Eraserhead would be able to watch him while he was training. All Might said if Eraserhead agrees with it, it's okay. And Izuku had discussed with Eraserhead about some personal training he wanted to do and wanted to see if the teacher would look over. Eraserhead was kind of confused by this because he knew All Might was coming in. He asked Izuku, and Izuku told Eraserhead that he knows that All Might was coming in, but he couldn't actually participate into the training because of the factor that his quirk was too strong, and if it went out of control, there was nothing he could do. Eraserhead kind of figured, yeah, I guess that makes a sort of a sense. You know, we can't have a kid with a stupidly strong quirk running around training. And then he asked Izuku, what kind of training do you want to do? And Izuku explained, well, you see, some people might find this inhumane, but I have the ability to create people from fiction. What do you mean? Aizawa asks. Well, you see, my ability is the capability to create anything and destroy anything. This includes people from fiction, much like Goku, or Naruto, or Luffy from One Piece. All these different characters I could recreate and give them the exact same abilities and have them spar against me. For example, I always keep Naruto on me. What do you mean you always keep Naruto on you? Deku touches something on his arm, which Aizawa looks at. On the boy's arm, he sees that there's a weird bracelet. He knew the boy carried a bracelet around. He never really knew the cause of it, but there was a bracelet on his arm. And on his arm, he saw that there's what appeared to be a spiral on it. Deku tapped it, and suddenly right next to him appeared a man. The man was quite tall. He had yellow hair and blue eyes. He wore a weird white cloak. The man introduced himself. Hello, I'm Naruto Uzumaki, the 6th Hokage. Wait, he's the 7th. God, I keep forgetting about the 5th. Aizawa was kind of shocked by this, and he's like, Naruto, I think I read those comic books back when I was younger. Comic books, sensei? They're called manga. Whatever. Huh, it's weird seeing this character in real life. And you're saying that it's a real character? Yes, sensei. It's a real person, not a character. Like, it's a human being. I can't spell this out any more than what I have done. He's always like, so what is he gonna help you train with? Just basic combat training. Hey, Izuku. Yeah, Naruto? You are gonna lock yourself with using only chakra-based abilities, right? I guess I could lock myself using chakra only. Well, you know, if you use that time stop ability, I really can't do anything about it now, can I? You know what, that is a fair enough point. If I do use my chakra powers, then really, I mean, not my chakra, but my basic abilities to manipulate time, it would be seen as unfair. Okay, good to know. Izuku and Naruto find a nice spot in the forest that was nearby. They cleared it out. Naruto starts jumping slightly. Not too much. He said, okay, Izuku, remember that one technique I taught you? You mean the Rasengan? Yeah, I know. It's been a long time since you used it, hasn't it? Yeah, roughly around 6 to 7 months? I know. Those officials were not happy when you blew up that wall. Yeah, they're still not happy with me now. I know, bro. I was there. I can literally hear everything the officials when they yell at you. Fair enough. Yep. Okay. You ready? Yep. Deku gets in a stance. He positions his body as slightly lower to the ground. He prepares himself. And then suddenly, a second form of him appears right next to him. Naruto smiles because he already knows. Oh, so we're allowed to use shadow clones. Well, if I don't use shadow clones, then I know you're gonna use shadow clones. So if I just use shadow clones now, it saves us the time and, well, bullshit for later. Fair enough, Naruto says with a joking tone. Suddenly, he activates his shadow clones as well. Izuku smiles as he prepares his attack. He starts charging up a small Rasengan and starts jumping towards Naruto. Naruto easily dodged the attack, but then Deku, using his shadow clone that he had created earlier, sent himself flying even farther by using air jutsu to send him forward. If anyone's wondering what his chakra nature is, it's air. I thought that was kind of obvious after I said air, but I figured I would explain it now. After getting launched forward, Izuku prepares to attack. Naruto quickly puts a block and blocks against the Rasengan with ease. Izuku, knowing that he really can't defeat Naruto, he's not nearly at the same strength just using chakra alone. He's adapted his chakra control to be way better during the night, seeing how he likes to sleep, but he doesn't really have a need for it. The scientists kind of learned this. They just decided to put him to sleep anyway. Deku then starts to prepare to attack Naruto again. This time, when he goes at him, he uses his air chakra and creates a small air chakra blade. This was something that Naruto had kind of thought of. He figured if Izuku had better control over everything, he should have better control over his chakra as well. Even though Izuku didn't have lots of control over his chakra, knowing basic physics did somewhat help. It was almost like he could see the chakra when he attacked, and he could know how to manipulate the chakra. Even though he's never used it before, as soon as he was able to find out how to use his points, he was able to actually manipulate the chakra inside of him into, well, what we see now. Deku quickly used the attack, started charging towards Naruto. Naruto poofed. Deku was confused until he realized that it was actually a shadow clone of Naruto's that he was only fighting. Aizawa was still standing in the back, very confused about what's going on. Aizawa starts talking to Naruto, who was, funny enough, standing right next to him. And he asked, "So, let me get this straight. You and Izuku train like this?" "Yeah, basically." "How often do you all train?" "Well, we don't really train often. You gotta remember, you are literally the only other person that knows I exist in this realm, other than Izuku himself. But he's still pretty good." Izuku is still fighting another shadow clone. He hasn't even realized that it's not even a shadow clone that he's fighting. So every move he takes, he meticulously plans it out and makes sure that he deals the most damage that he can. Until eventually he gets punched in the side by Naruto, sending him flying into a tree. Izuku looks to see Naruto. Aizawa kind of was like, "Wow, you could have gone a little bit nicer on the kid." And Naruto was like, "No, this is weak for Izuku. He's way stronger than most people give him credit for. God, I know I couldn't do it. He's stronger than me. And that's saying something." Aizawa was kind of surprised by this, like, Izuku's really that strong? Yeah. You've seen the kid, right? Izuku isn't really that strong. He is that strong. He is strong enough to beat whoever he wants without basically any to whatever consequence. It's simple, really. He just fights and he defeats his opponents. Aizawa knows the battle's going on, and he's like, "But he can't defeat you." "You gotta remember, I'm a master at using this, not to mention I have a nearly unlimited chakra in that sense too, allowing me to be able to use my abilities constantly. He's limited to just using chakra to make the fight fair, because to be truthful, if he just decided to use everything, I'm not even sure if I could defeat him." "Really?" "Yeah, that boy is strong. Stupidly strong. I'm surprised he hasn't taken over the world at this point," Naruto says jokingly. But Aizawa kind of takes this as like, he really has the strength for taking over the world. His thought of Izuku kind of changes at that moment. If what Naruto said was true, then Izuku can easily devastate not only himself, but even the other heroes. The only way Aizawa would have any capability of stopping him was in case if, Aizawa froze his skill forever. But that only works until the point where Izuku breaks eye contact with him, or he breaks eye contact with Izuku, causing Izuku to be free of his skill, of his quirk. Aizawa realizes Izuku's a threat, but then also realizes that they had been training for about around 5 hours now. I was wondering how the other thing was going. Aizawa quickly checked in with All Might and heard that it was done, so he told Izuku it was time to quit. Izuku understood and told Naruto that he would come back to train later and put Naruto back into his bracelet. Naruto agreed. Izuku then went back with Aizawa. He learned about all the different fights and stuff. He also learned that Uraraka and Momo beat Bakugo and Ida in kind of a funny way, he thought. Uraraka used Momo's creation ability to create multiple different copies and make a sound box for the copies to make noises everywhere to distract the villains. While then Uraraka went into the room. Then she got kicked by Ida, sending her flying. And then she found out that Momo had placed explosives below the floor. After Momo blew the explosives, Uraraka just used the rubble to send it flying towards Ida, causing him to be momentarily distracted while she touched the button, giving them the win. Deku was kind of surprised, but gave credit for what it's worth. He thought it was impressive. When they asked Deku about what he was doing, Deku said that he wasn't really doing much and that what he was doing wasn't really that important. It was just basic body strength training. Uraraka really didn't pry into this, neither did Momo. They both understood that Deku has his secrets and that if his training was something special, it's probably related to his quirk. A couple weeks went past. Deku trained with multiple different people. He was training originally with Naruto, and then he also trained with Luffy, as well as a guy with white hair named Bell. He also trained with another person called Ichigo, but Aizawa couldn't even see Ichigo and really wondered if Ichigo was there. Deku then explained that Ichigo was there, but he was in his Shinigami form, so Aizawa really couldn't see him because he would hunt spirits in that form, and to make it so humans really wouldn't care that much about them while they were hunting spirits, they purposely made themselves invisible. And also that humans can't see spirits at base. Some humans are lucky and can, like Ichigo, but most can't. Deku also eventually called Goku, but Goku really didn't want to fight, or he did want to fight, but he knew that Deku was a little bit just too weak for him to actually fight, so most of the time it was him training Izuku to get stronger. Deku was surprised by the boy's ability and said that, in essence, he was about as strong as the Omni King. Well, if he actually trained, he could easily get as strong as the Omni King. The ability to create and destroy anything kind of remind him of a certain cat that he knows. Izuku inquired about the cat because he hadn't read Dragon Ball Super yet, but he summoned a complete recreation of Goku up to canon source material. And Goku explained that, it's Beerus, the god of destruction. And then Izuku realized that he just had a massive spoiler sent to him by the main character himself. He didn't know if he should be upset or enthralled that he could hear it from the character himself. Eventually, Deku and the rest of his classmates were saying in class, when Aizawa walked in and said, "Students, we will be going to the USJ." Deku had already known about this once again from All Might. He had information in advance, and he knew that he could actually participate in this time, or somewhat kind of participate. He'll be able to actually do the action of being there with everyone else, but he would be limited on his quirk use, especially since All Might eventually found out about him being able to summon other people from manga. So he ended up calling them. He eventually ended up saying that Izuku could do whatever he wanted with them, really. He didn't even care if he had one out. So Deku decided to make Naruto look like his Shippuden form rather than his Hokage form, and kept Naruto around at all times. Even though he did have the strength and memory of Naruto's most recent incarnation in written material, which would be his Hokage form, he was still looking like he was in his 16s, almost 17s. Izuku ended up heading to the unforeseen juncture event with Naruto. Most of the classmates knew that Naruto was just a friend of Izuku's. And anytime they asked questions, that would be the limit of information they got from either Izuku himself, or from Naruto, or from the teachers. Eventually they got there. Naruto could instantly sense that something was off, and Deku asked Naruto, "What's wrong? You seem agitated." "I don't like that center." Deku looked towards the center of the USJ. He couldn't see anything, and then, almost like Naruto had spoken the words of God or something, a black portal slowly opened up in the center. Deku kind of realized that this was a teleportation quirk. So he told Naruto, "It's a teleportation quirk." And then he turned around and said, "Ida, I need you to go tell the heroes that there's a situation going on here." "What do you mean, Izuku?" And then Ida looks behind him to see a purple portal start growing. Understanding the severity of the situation and that they didn't have time for him to lollygag, Ida instantaneously started to rush off. He knew he had to quickly fix the issue. Quicker he does it, the better. Meanwhile, Deku turned around. Just then, he found himself in a different location. Naruto wasn't nearby him, but Deku pulled Naruto back into his bracelet and then resummoned Naruto again. So Naruto was standing next to him. Sue and Mineta were there, and they were both kind of weirded out by Deku and asked Deku, "What was that? Why did Naruto just come outside of your bracelet?" Deku said he'll explain it all later. Currently, we don't have time to worry about that. Deku then pulled out multiple different accessories that he owned, each accessory pertaining to one or another character, as he summoned them all out quickly. Deku then prepared for the oncoming attacks, but nothing came. Eventually, Deku started to attack the villains in the water. Using his ability, he ended up creating a water manipulation power that lets him to manipulate the water. And then he destroyed all the water in sight, basically evaporating all, making the boat itself fall into the ocean. While he did that, he said to Naruto to make sure he doesn't kill any of the villains and send them outwards. Meanwhile, he told Ichigo that he wanted him to keep an eye on Sue and Mineta, while also he told Luffy that he wanted Luffy to, just stay out of the water. Luffy said, "You don't have to tell me twice," as he quickly stays out of the water and runs away. Now, you might be kind of confused. Why are all these characters just listening to Izuku? Like, why are they all just passively listening without any issue at all? Almost like none of them care. Well, see, there's actually a reason. See, Izuku, when he creates them, he kind of inputs a small little smidge, like the text you would read at the bottom of a package or something. Basically, it's kind of like he forms a contract with them, forcing them to basically obey his fiends. Even though it's not absolutely obeying, it's more of the basic ability that they know that they have to listen to Izuku. It's not like they have a choice. Eventually, all the villains were taken out, except for two in the center. One was purple, and the other one was having blue hair. The blue one told the purple one to bring in something called a Nomu. Izuku was confused until eventually he saw a giant black creature strut in. Izuku could instantaneously tell that this guy was dangerous, more dangerous than anything else he had fought before. So he used his abilities to destroy it instantly. And then put the other two villains in quirk blocking cuffs to make sure that they couldn't escape. And that is where I'm going to leave it off, guys. If you liked it, hit the like button. If you enjoyed it, hit the subscribe button. And until next time, goodbye.